I
I
know
mean,
Uptown reunion.
they're talking about an Uptown tour because of, everybody's getting older. So they're talking about that as we speak too. That's actually in conversation and up for grabs. But everyone, it depends on. We're all grown now, so it depends on people and where they are in their lives.
Yeah.
Like you can't demand for stuff as much as we could have back then when we had the hits rolling.
Yeah.
So certain people may still think they got the hits,
Yeah.
and I want this and that to go on the road. And you got to realize, I'm here for it though. I'm here for it.
But then that'd be hard because you think it when you think of Uptown, you're thinking, okay, you're not going to get heavy, so you might. Then you have to think, how many of guys from Jodeci can we get together? Mary, whether she's going to be
Right.
ready
That's what
to.
I'm saying. Like where everybody's at in their career. Christopher Williams. Like
Yeah.
where it's just depending on where people are at. If everybody's on deck and ready to go, we already know Mary's gonna have to close it out. She's the mega, at the end of the day. But it's like whoever's hot, it's just what you do on that stage. Because your records from back then is still gonna be heard. Like when you get on that stage, as soon as you walk on that stage, it's gonna be a whole different story.
Yeah, but then because you probably released 12 to 15 tracks over the past year of new stuff. How's that like compared to trying to go back and sing some of the old stuff? Do you then think does it become hard to go back into that mindset of singing, treat him and all that stuff because of where
No,
you are now?
nah, because see what it is once you walk out on stage and the people that knew you know your old stuff, they gonna rock with you. But then when you say, here I am now, it's a whole different element. And it's just the way you present yourself on stage. When you walk out, everybody, of course, gonna, this is what I grew up to, my joints. And then say like this, it's up to you being the MC to say, control the crowd, microphone
Yeah,
controller, control the crowd and say, this is what I'm working with now. And you giving it to them and you give them that feel good. And long as this is not too far, because you have to excel. It can't be the same thing that you was doing. You have to excel. You have to
yeah,
move ahead because you got to follow music. So long as you doing that and you're a little familiar and you could have went a little left, that's okay. It's art.
yeah,
It's art,
yeah.
you know?
You're still getting a lot of love from the DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Volume 3, which was probably his biggest one to date.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, being apart from yourself and Teddy doing hip rapping on that because you went in Volume 2. When did you have a choice in what tracks you played that he or did he say this is what he wants?
He wanted everything's gonna be all right because that happened with Andre Harrell when Andre passed. And I said, with Andre Harrell, you know what I'm saying? In the record, I say Andre Harrell's name.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
you know, that's what it was. But like I had so many hit records. I had like I could keep going down the list, like from Treat 'Em Like You Want to Be Treated to everything to I'll Do For You to Lisa Baby to One Night Stand to Everything's Gonna Be All Right to 69 to Affection to I mean I could keep going, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And then the records with me and Ray Parker and the other people I've done worked with Intro and worked with everyone, Horace Brown, everywhere.
I mean, when you do think about it, though, because the fact that you have had a slew of hit records, and you start looking at people who go on '90s tour and stuff like that, and maybe they have 3 or 4 hits that they had. It's not easy to because it was very competitive in the '90s. I mean, every day I do a poll, and it's really hot records and so much competition. But when you think of the fact that you were just, you were getting the hits, it means you can go on tour and just have a set of 10 or 15 of your tracks and stuff. Um, but then that takes away from some of the newest things that you're doing, which, as I said, a lot of them are really catchy, and especially some of the
You have
ones
to
that are.
build. You have to build. You have to build. As an artist, you have to build. You have to build. Like you can't do the whole song when you want to stay on a tour if you're trying to put out your new stuff. So you may do the hook and the chorus and go to the next one and, you know, make your show tape like that. And you start doing the records you start squeezing them in as the world is getting more familiar with your new stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's how you keep it going. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess being on tour though, because that's the thing. I mean, when's the last time you were actually on a stage?
Man, I'm on the stage every day of my life, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, with a crowd and you're playing, you're performing. When's the last time you actually got a mic and you're actually on stage and people were like, "Wait, Father"?
Man, before the pandemic, I was out and I was doing little side things here and there, not depending on it, just doing it. You know,
Okay.
not depending on it, and having a ball doing it, The stage, I'm not afraid of at all. At all. That's when we did Wembley Arena in London, and everybody was like, Wembley Arena, they be booing people and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let's go. All we did was pray and we got on the stage and we handled our business. You know, the stage I had the most fear of out of the whole world that I took was the Apollo.
Yeah, I mean,
and when I touched that shrine, it was business as usual. We prayed and it's time to go. You know, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, you know. And the thing of it is like I'm saying, I had records to back me up with.
Yeah.
So I'm walking into a fight with records in back of me, like hits. And you know, I had feel good records too. So, you know, even for the gangsters and the thugs, they loved Father because Father had the women.
Yeah.
The women came out. So everybody to this day tell me, yo, when you came in my city, I had to come on tour. They say I can't front. I was rocking with other artists, but you brought the women out. So the women came. I was going to that Father MC show. You know, a lot of cats told me, one dude told me, he said, man, I had a cassette of yours that I opened up just and put it in the car just when women would come in, when he'd have women in his car. You know,
back in the 90s, we did all crazy stuff. We used to play a track and then leave it as our, you know, when you're leaving a mess answer machine. So you have the everything's gonna be all right. It says, yeah, I'm not around right now, but everything's gonna be all right. Call me back.
True.
Yeah, so I can imagine somebody having the tape in there to say that, yeah, man, this is what I'm listening to stuff. You know, when I did watch the Uptown Unplugged, there's a very different energy when you were performing with the band, and I do wonder if that's stuff that you would consider doing when you do go back on the road.
That's what I'm gonna do. The band is needed because, see, with me, if you look at the Uptown Unplugged, right? I look at it and I bug out because I knew at the rehearsals I always told the drummer, my drummer was my guy in the bass. Everything else I didn't really care about. I was like, me and the drummer and the bass guy, we had like cues of drop. Boom, when I put my hand down, let the drums just rock. You get what I'm saying? And you can see, if you look at the Uptown Unplugged, where I got comfortable when it was just me and the drums.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You could see where me and him just floating, like, let's go. Like that. And then when the boom, 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 you know, he brought it in. I mean, it was crazy, man. And then my background singers, you know, it's a big difference between a DAT show and a live band. The band is fun.
But why do a lot of artists don't seem to? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the clips on you know, on social media, and they're just getting the DJ out there, and it's almost.
Let me tell you something. A band is fun, but a band costs money. So if you let's say Azjet, let's give them as an example.
Yeah.
Azjet, if they get in, let's say, I'm just giving a number. I don't know but if they're getting, let's say, 10 grand a show, right? It's for them. So they got to pay each other, you know, 25, 25, 25, 25, right? For, let's say, 4 grand. They got to pay each other $1,000 a piece. It's for them, right?
Yeah.
Then they got to pay the tour bus driver. Then they got to pay the background, the band members. You got to pay the band members, and then you got to pay the sound stage. I mean, people don't realize when you go on tour, you're responsible for everything. I was solo and I had a payroll of 15 people. I
Wow.
took 15 people on the road with me overseas and in the United States because it's so people think it's not needed, but it is needed because you're not going to carry your bag. So you got to pay someone to carry your bags, which is a roadie. You're not going to carry that equipment. So the roadie's job, your barber has to be there, you know, and the barber ain't going to leave. So he ain't cutting your hair every day, but hey, he got to be there. Your stylist. You know, it's a lot that go with it. And people say, you could go without that. Okay, you try. You got people dressing you when you on stage, when you walk in the back for like 40 seconds. You got people, I had people wearing my shoes, taking my shoes off, putting the pants on, putting my shoes on, while you got 30 seconds before you back on that stage for another set. So it's crazy. You get what I'm saying? It's crazy, but it's entertainment. Yeah, that's why they sung a cappella. Kenny said that's why they sung a cappella. You know, I never was one of the artists to like when Jodeci had all of the explosions and all of that stuff and all that. I had a backdrop. My backdrop cost me 15 grand. It was like the biggest backdrop in the game at that point. And it was my album cover, right?
Yeah.
I realized that it's only me and my dancers on that stage. So we have to depend and rely on our show.
Yeah.
We don't have everything else. Because once that's done and over with, it's just you and the crowd.
Yeah.
It's you and the crowd. So I had to have the crowd from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Where a lot of groups got the explosions and all that, extra candy stuff. And it's cool, but that shit costs.
Yeah, so that makes sense because when I did interview some guys and they talked about when they went on they went toured a New Edition and they weren't getting as much as New Edition, but their set cost a lot more, so it meant what they were taking home was impacted. And I guess a lot of us don't really get and understand because
the tour bus, the gas, the driver's lodging, the tour bus driver's salary. All of that.
So like if you were Live Nation and those guys, they don't what do they do? They just I thought they covered all that stuff. And
no, they don't cover none of that. They give you a salary. Let's say we're gonna give Father, let's say $50,000, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing where you could get 50,000 and we take care of everything, like the airfare, everything, right? Or we're gonna give you 70,000 and that's included and you got to take care of everything.
Okay.
So it just depends on, ICM, International Creative Management, was my booking agency.
Yeah.
And to the day, me and Mark Cheatham, he's over there at CAA now in Cali out here. That's the biggest, besides Endeavor, William Morris Endeavor. But they're the biggest agency out now. And it's like, nah, they get a fee for you and you got to figure that out. So that's why they do the tours. They do the tours. So the tour is like let's say a 30 city tour, let's say.
Yeah.
You have to budget all of that. And I used to always tell my manager, Frank DeLeo and Steve Lucas, yo, this is what you're going to make on tour. And in my head, I used to say, I got 15 cats with me. Okay, I want to bring home this amount. This is what I want to bring home out of this. Figure it out. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm making $10, I want to bring home 7, 6.5 to 7, no less than 6.5. So y'all got to figure that out. Bus driver and everything. Y'all got to figure that out. Hotels all across, and I got hotels out there, yin yang. So 2 people to a room. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
But then how does an artist who's focused on being on stage have to start thinking about the money side at the same time? Does that not become a distraction?
It can be. It can be, depending on what type of an artist you are. If you're an artist that you're getting money, see, when you start getting money, when you start booking shows, it's more money than you probably had anyway. So you're getting that money, and you're getting that money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sometimes, if you catch a hit record and you on a tour. So you got to budget that shit out. Like if you making 50,000, oh shoot, it says my battery going in 2 minutes.
Okay, that was silly.
Yeah, if you making that, so you gotta, budget it out, but it's doable. It can happen.
Yeah.
That's why, with like I was saying about the Uptown tour, it just depends. Everyone's getting older and where they at in their lives.
Yeah.
Like just cause, let's say Jodeci made more than me on tour, which they did. They made more than me on tour, but now no one has a hit record. So they could say back in the day, I want 50,000 more than for them. They could have, being realistic. Now they can't, because now we're all at the even playing field. Mary's the one who could demand, I want 200,000, easy, 400,000, easy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then the album comes back, I can be back into that bargaining field. So we got to pray and hopefully, God makes that thing happen, which it will.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate, I mean, as I said, I'll keep in touch just to see when, if there's going to be any news about the album. I know that, as I said, I like the fact that you released a lot of singles for us to sort of whet our appetite and stuff. But it's it's good to keep, it's good to keep in touch to see, how much you've changed and how what's been going on this past year and stuff.
I got like 3 more inches to go, and then the video is ready. When you know that I'm doing a video, you know the single's coming.
Okay.
You know the single's coming. And
so you're getting ready for a video, but you're not telling us which single it is.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, Get Off. Jay, get him Get Off. Get him the single Get Off. You got to get that record.
Okay. I
just give you a hint. American Bandstand. That's all I can say.
Okay.
American Bandstand. It's crazy.
Okay. So yeah, as I said, I'll be sure to make sure it goes out there and stuff. But definitely, as I said, I always owe you a death thanks. Since first person to grace Must Be the Music, and since then, doors have opened and stuff. So I never stop giving you props and thanks for.
I'm watching you. I'm watching your moves. I'm seeing the moves you making, baby. I'm checking you out. I'm saying, look at my man, look at my guy. I'm seeing all my guys calling me when they get ready to interview you, and they asking me, yo, how is he, man? Like, woo. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at him. I'm checking you out.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.